Alright YouTube, I'm back. It's been about a month or so since my last update, which was adding the Purple Helix Coralline algae in the bottle. And I would say that I have 0.0% Coralline algae growth in the tank. I have the basic beginning beginning algae, nuisance algae that you see that are common in a new system. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of brown stuff on the rocks, and actually it started to go away recently, and the purple is starting to show again underneath. That is the base of the Carob Sea rock. So up towards the light I have some green and some little bit of fuzzy brown stuff. But as far as getting any growth from the bottle of Purple Helix, I don't think I have any. I would expect to see it on the pumps and the plastic and the back glass before anywhere else, and I don't see any. My parameters are good, my magnesium is up. I do dose with a little bit of purple up, and I do put a little bit of calcium. I check my levels. Calcium's good, magnesium's good, DKH is good. pH is good, temperature is stable, salinity is good, so there's no reason why it shouldn't grow. Sometimes it'll take a little bit longer, that's not a problem, I don't care. I'm reefing slow. I'm probably going to take the rock out of my other tank, chip off the Coralline algae, crush it up in a mortar and pestle, and then put it inside this tank. And that usually always works. I just wanted to keep this water just 100% pristine of any kind of pest or anything like that. So everybody here is doing good. I haven't lost any fish. All these fish were quarantined for like a month. Everybody's doing real well. Nobody fights. This is life without clownfish, basically. I think when you put clowns in your tank, you're putting an asshole or two in your tank. But when you don't do clowns, everybody just gets along. So I would love to put a couple clowns in here, maybe some really small ones, like tiny little babies, and introduce them, and perhaps they would get along, but I don't think so. I think as they get older and bolder, they'll cause a ruckus. So in here I have the firefish. His friend jumped in quarantine. This one here, I had two of these. One of them died overnight in quarantine. This guy here, he lived in quarantine for about a month. He's doing fine. This one here, gotten bigger, doing really good. Had a lot of lymphocystis, that's all gone. The water parameters probably helped that. I have the Watchman goby back there, and the shrimp and goby pistol shrimp deal going on. They usually hang out up front, which is nice. That's their burrow there, and they have another burrow back there. The sand that I added is a mixture of like special grade Carob Sea, and I think the other brand is Nature's Reef. It's something that they sell a lot here in Florida locally. It's two different grain sizes. Everything else with the tank is the same. Everything I'm happy with. My wave maker, my skimmer, my growth of the chaeto and the refugiums. So basically I'm just letting this tank mature still and waiting for those signs of algae to show up and hopefully take over any of the other nuisance algae that I have, which I'm not really too worried about. So we'll go for a small feeding right now. So little battles begin. The Royal Grama, or Fairy Basslet, whatever you want to call it, goes for the big chunks. That guy there, he goes for the big stuff. He goes for the big pieces. And the firefish usually goes for tiny little scraps. The Watchman goby, he goes for pretty good sized pieces. And that's it. I don't feed too much. Sometimes I know the flasher wrasse, they like to eat a lot in small little pieces, and they continually are in the search for food. So sometimes I'll throw a little bit of flake in there, a pinch of flake. I keep my pump on, all my pumps on. It really gets the food going around, and then they just feed into the current nicely. So I'm going to crush up some of that Coralline algae that I have on some Fiji rock in my other system, and it's just not really doing much with the tank right now. My dog had to get back surgery, so $8,000 back surgery, and luckily I had insurance to pay for it, help pay for it. So even if I wanted to put coral and stuff in here, it probably wouldn't happen at this time. So the dog was a bigger deal, but everybody's doing good. I'll back up here. The pump is good, tank's good. The autofill's working really well. These if I can find the switch. These trip lights are great. It's a trip light. Every outlet's got its own switch. You can label the switches. I haven't done that yet, but you can label the switches. I've got a little stick-on light LED that I turn on and off. Flip of a switch. The 5-gallon sump for my top-off waters right there. I'm using a Hydrofill TI by Innovative Marine. It's flawless. Once I had to brush off with the toothbrush and tank water the anodes, but that's all I had to do, and it works fine. So you just get a toothbrush while you're cleaning your glass or whatever. You just go ahead and brush off the anodes, and it works fine. No other maintenance required. I have never cleaned the back glass. The back glass does not really have much growing on it. I've never cleaned it, so kind of gives you an idea that this tank is pretty much doing well as far as overgrowth of algae. It doesn't really, it takes a long time to build up on the front glass, and let alone there's not much going on the back glass. I'm not cleaning it because I want to see some little bit of coralline show up, and I'll know that I have it growing, but so far nothing much going on there. Guess I can go in a toothbrush and clean that off a little bit. A lot of times the shrimp molt will get on there, or some Chaeto will fly out of the sump and get into the pump, but it doesn't seem to be messing anything up. Everybody's doing good. I've got 6 fish, I guess. I have the flasher wrasse, the firefish, the Watchman goby, the pajama cardinal, the royal grama, and that's it, I think. And the algae plenty. So next one will be the second attempt at trying to get some coralline algae, and that'll probably be another update. Once I get that going, it'll be time to add some soft corals and whatnot into the tank. That's it for right now. That's all that's going on.